There are 8 billion people on this planet. Out of them, 2 billion still believe Jesus is real and the Christian God is real. Think about that. 2,000 years have passed since this figure supposedly lived. If what they claim were real, if this were universal fact, why do only 2 billion know it? Why does the majority of humanity see through it, or at least live without it? Keyword: know, not believe. Belief is easy. Belief can be taught. Belief can be forced. Belief can be inherited like a family heirloom. But knowledge is earned. Knowledge is experienced. Knowledge cannot be programmed, bribed, or threatened. It proves itself. Fire doesn't ask for belief before burning you. The sun doesn't need a church to rise. Facts are universal. They exist whether we worship them or not. Now consider this. Out of the 2 billion believers, the majority were force-programmed. They didn't discover these truths for themselves. They were told, as children, that this story is reality. They were taught it in homes, schools, and churches. They were pressured, shamed, and sometimes even threatened to accept it. Rituals, repetition, fear, authority. These are the tools of programming, not proof. This is conditioning masquerading as knowledge. Meanwhile, the other 6 billion people already know this. They see the cracks. They understand the difference between story and fact. They don't need to believe because they experience life through logic, observation, and reason. They understand cause and effect, history and patterns, human behavior and manipulation. Only the 2 billion remain trapped, defending belief as if it were truth, unaware they are carrying someone else's story. Let's take it deeper. Ask yourself, why, after 2,000 years, is this knowledge still dependent on faith, repetition, and authority? If God and Jesus were real, the evidence would be universal. It would be undeniable. You wouldn't need pastors, books, or prayers to prove it. You wouldn't need indoctrination, fear of hell, or emotional manipulation to keep people in line. Truth doesn't require obedience. Truth doesn't need belief. And here's the ancestral perspective. Our ancestors didn't need stories about someone else's God to survive. They thrived, they built, they fought, they healed, they passed knowledge generation to generation, through observation, through ritual, through experience. Truth was lived, not memorized from a book. But this story, this imported belief system, was designed to break that ancestral chain, to redirect reverence away from your bloodline, away from your culture, away from the reality your ancestors mastered, to replace living knowledge with obedient faith. So here's the undeniable logic. Facts are universal. Knowledge cannot be forced. Yet 2 billion people were conditioned to accept something as true without evidence. 6 billion people already see it for what it is. If you are in the 2 billion, pause and reflect. Are you defending truth, or are you defending programming? Are you clinging to a story because it's familiar, or because it was forced into your mind before you could question it? Faith is not proof. Belief is not evidence. Stories are not universal knowledge. And yet, 2 billion people still live by this system, 2,000 years later, unaware that they are following someone else's imagination, a system built to control, not to enlighten. Truth doesn't ask for permission. Truth doesn't demand obedience. Truth doesn't need followers. And the moment a mind wakes up to this, the system loses its power. Think about that. 2,000 years, 2 billion believers, 6 billion who see it, and the only thing standing between most people and freedom is the stories they were programmed to believe.